Hello and welcome to this short introduction to radar analytics. In today's session, we're going to be looking at view at a glance report using radar analytics, find the data you need using filters, create personal dashboards on the data that you wish to track, and create personal email alerts to tell you of changes in your data. So let's get started. Once logged into Radar, please click on the analytics icon up here. If you do not have the analytics icon available, it may be that you just need this activating in your permissions. So now you'll have a side panel here of your dashboards. This will look slightly different because I'm in the staging website, but in Live you'll have a folder up here called Live. Selecting on that folder brings up all the subfolders. Each subfolder is named after a function in Radar. So this may be Actions, Audits, Documents, Events, or Workforce Compliance, and you may see additional ones appearing in the future. Again, these are all permission based as well. So if you don't have access to one of these but you want it, you just need to speak to your system administrator. So to get started, I'm going to open up one of these. So opening up these subfolders, you may find there's multiple dashboards. And I'm going to focus on the event one, and yours will say event_live, and selecting that will open up the dashboard. Now I've zoomed in a bit so you can see. So what I'm going to do is just going to minimize this dashboard panel here by scrolling down and selecting the arrow here just to make the screen a little larger. So at the very top, you've got some key items that you're tracking. And if you hover over the title, it will give you more detail. So we're looking at the number of events raised in the period selected. So we've had 37. The current outstanding events, 26. The number overdue, 20. The average time to raise at, so that's from when the event happened to when it was logged in Radar. And then the average time to close the event down. And as you go down the page, you see different graphs and stats related to this particular module. So we've got the trend of when the events were logged. We've got the events by type, so what kind of events are being logged, where are they being logged, and as we go down, you'll see more and more graphs related to your data. Now, to filter, to find specific data, you've got the filter panel down the side here, and please do take a look. So, for example, at the moment, by default, we have the last 360 days. Now, if you're wanting to look at data for a certain time period, just click on the pencil icon, and you can edit that. You can edit it to look at a period in time. So for example, we could say the last 180 days, or we could change that from days to weeks, months, quarters, or years. So we could say, actually, I just want to look at all the data this year. And by selecting OK, it will filter and change all the dashboard data just to show you data relating to this year. If you want, you can also use a calendar, and you can select the date frames in mind. So for example, I might want to look at January to March, and if I select OK, the data will now change to show me the data for our events for January to March. So I can see here I've got 10 overdue events, and if I wanted to look at what those 10 were, any of these icons up here, you can select them and it opens up the data set behind. So this is going to show me the 10 overdue events from January to March. If I want, I can download this. So wherever you see the three-dot menu in the system, select it and you can download. You can download the image, or in this case, you probably want to download the CSV file so you can have it in Excel. What you can also do on this one in particular is if you want to look at what this medical error is up here, I can select it and it will open up the event in a new screen. And I can just pop back into here. Okay, so that's how you view the data behind it. If you want, say, a copy of the graph, for example, so these are all the event types that we had logged in our date range. Again, we've got the three-dot menu here, so you can select it, click on download, and I can download the image, or you can download the data behind it if you want to create, say, a graph in Excel. You've got further filters, and some of these, where you see graphs on here, can also be directly filtered on. So for example, if I wanted to see more detail about just our fall incidents, I can select that, and it will filter. So I'm now just looking at our fall incidents, and I can see we had 9 at Morley Road, 2 at head office, and 2 at Primrose House, and I can see the trend of events there. I can clear that selection by clicking on that symbol, and it has removed the filter. I could do the same for location. If I wanted to look at what these 13 events were at Morley Road, I can select that, and I can see how it's been broken down there. And again, just by selecting that item, it removes the filter. I could have done the same down the side here. So I can filter on region, I can filter on location, I can filter on event type. I can also filter on tags. So if I scroll down to the bottom of the analytics page here, you can see we've got a couple of tags. One about falls that are related to an injury and one where a staff member has been involved. You may have lots of different tags in your organization and these are created by you. So for example, you could have a tag that notifies you around safeguarding concerns or CQC investigations, or for example, what type of incidents are occurring and what are they related to. So you can pull these through directly. You can also filter on them. Again, you can click on them, or you can actually click on the pencil icon at the side here on tags and view all your tags. So for example, if I wanted to look at all our falls that have ended in injury, I can do that, and then it filters our data. So I can have a look. Scrolling up here, the data has changed accordingly. We have the fall event type, so we've had 6. This is where they've happened. The number 6 up here, I can click on there to actually open up. And if you remember, this is looking at January to March. You can amend your filters at any point on here. And if you like your filters and you want to come back to those straight away, click on the 3 dots at the top and you can set those as your default filters. Now we talked about setting up a personalized dashboard. So you can set up what we call pulses. And as you can see up here, you've got a pulse option up here. And your pulse is a personalized dashboard tracking the key things that you want to track. And you can also set yourselves email alerts as well. So for example, let's say we want to keep an eye on all the medication errors event types that we have. And we also want to be notified should we get any more. So I'm just going to apply our filters. So I'm going to change our event date. And rather than looking at a set time frame, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to look at this year. So that's a much more flexible time frame. So as we go through this year, as the number changes, I'll be able to keep track of it. As I scroll down, I want to look at event types. So I click on the pencil icon and I just want to look at medication error. Now the data has gone blank, and that's because at the bottom here we've still got our tag on fall injury. So I'm just going to remove that. So I'm including all that data and I'm just filtering on all medication error types that have happened this year, and we have 1, which is 5 down on last year. Now if I want to keep track of that number, and so I'm notified if it changes, all I do is click on that 3 dots, and rather than clicking on the download as we've done previously, I want to click on add to pulse. And now what we're going to do is give it a name. So you want to name it something that is easily rememberable. So and then you can set yourself an alert. So do you want to be notified when it goes above a certain threshold? So for example, greater than 10, or you can use lots of different options on there. Or have the system use artificial intelligence to tell you when there's fluctuations in the data. Or just always. So for example, as soon as we get another one and that number goes to 2, you're email notified straight away. So I'm going to click add. And now if I scroll up under our pulse dashboard up here, we've got a number of items that we're tracking. So I'm tracking the number of complaints that we've received this year. And I've got a slight duplicate here. I'm tracking the number of medication errors. Now I've got a duplication here because I've done one on a previous practice. So what I can do is I can just edit, duplicate if I wanted to, turn it all together or delete it. So I can delete that. So what I'm doing on here is I'm tracking the key stats that I'm interested in. This may be something you need to report on a regular basis. So how many falls have we had, or how many, as we say, medication errors have been reported. You could have these looking at each month. So as you open this up, it's looking at this month or last month. So last month we had this number of events. We had this number of this type of event. You can do it on any of your filters at all. So if you're filtering on a tag or you're filtering on a set time frame, whatever it is that you need to keep track of. If you don't want the alert, as you've just seen, click on that 3-line menu and just turn it off and turn off receive notifications. You can make this your default dashboard, so when you log in you see pulses straight away, or if you prefer to have the analytics as your default dashboard, just select analytics there and select default dashboard. Finally, if you want to pull off a report of your full dashboard, just open up the dashboard in question. So I'm going to open up our event dashboard, and remember this will be live and it'll be events_live. And I closed it down previously using this arrow. However, if I've got my filters and I'm happy with the analytics dashboard that I've built, rather than closing that down, just next to the name, you've got 3 dots there. And as with everything else with 3 dots, you can click on it, click download, and you can download it as PDF or image. So if I click PDF, it brings up a preview page. If I'm happy with everything, I can click on the download option at the bottom and it downloads a copy of my report into PDF. I hope you found this short video useful. As I mentioned, the other dashboards, for example audits, work on the same principles by showing you data related to audits. And again, anywhere there's three dots, you can add to Pulse and build up your dashboard, download the data within, and always use those filters to find the information that you need for your reporting. Thank you very much.